You know, and I do have to say, in almost 30 years in ADA compliance, I'll tell you really honestly, the biggest barrier is not funding, it's not lack of staff training, it is attitude. The attitude is the single greatest barrier I see to compliance, especially when I'm working with the accessibility coordinator or the deputy mayor or one of the park superintendents, and we're trying to pull together an accessibility management team, and we have pushback from certain individuals or certain departments. It's because of their lack of personal connection to disability. And then it also has to do with the culture within the organization. It's the lack of priority towards inclusion of people with disabilities. And so I really believe that for the accessibility coordinator and advocates in the community, they can serve as change agents and bring that knowledge and personal connection to disability in a way to be able to change both the attitude for individuals and the culture within the organization. I'm all of a sudden hearing myself. There we go. So definitely, you know, something to think about in terms of where you are all at in your compliance. You know, Jen set up the poll here to ask that question to start with about where you are in your self-evaluation and transition plan. But then I would also encourage you to ask some questions too, as far as your internal perception and external perceptions. You know, what does your leadership perceive as the level of ADA compliance? What does that mean with managers, supervisors, and department heads, and members of your accessibility management team? And then what's the external perception? And we actually did a survey for the city of Minneapolis. It was really interesting. We put together an internal survey for employees of the city and asked them some benchmark questions in terms of ADA compliance. And then we asked them to give the city a grade on where they thought they were doing on compliance. And generally, city employees thought that they were doing about a B work in terms of ADA compliance. And then we asked those same questions in an external community study or survey of people with disabilities, family members, friends, and disability advocates. And we asked them all the same benchmark questions, and then we asked them to give the city a grade. And overwhelmingly, the community gave the city around a C minus. And so there's totally different perceptions about where the city was at in terms of ADA compliance. But it's helped them tremendously in bridging those gaps and addressing where the community had perception of shortfalls. And so they've been able to make some tremendous inroads there. You know, so definitely looking at how you can use community engagement to better understand the perceptions of your organization's ADA compliance program.